Hello, my name's Amber. Welcome to Symbols for Living monthly tarot reading for the love life of Taurus for May 2016. Okay, so having laid out the cards, it looks to me overall that there has been some sort of adjustment that has needed to be made. I feel that in the recent past, you seem to maybe have found your voice, found what your deepest desires were, or even just found a way to apply what your deepest desires are and basically exercise your true will. I feel like you've been fighting quite hard to keep a relationship going, or always having to kind of fight and argue, defend yourself in a relationship. And I feel like possibly your partner may have been quite set in their ways or not really willing to move forward, which has caused you some sleepless nights and worry. But it's also brought you to the realization that you need to make an adjustment, that this relationship was unfair and unbalanced. And you're now looking to bring more balance into the relationship, or at least just generally, so you can find your own happiness. Because the imbalance, I think, is what's causing you to be unhappy or worry and have these sleepless nights. But it also does suggest here that a lot of it is in your mind. And you maybe need to balance your thoughts out a bit and not worry so much about this, because you're doing yourself more harm than you need to. So do try and get your rest. Do try to take the time out to meditate, clear your mind, and find that inner balance to generally create more calm and harmony internally. It might have been quite heartbreaking to realize that this adjustment was needed, but it has also kind of empowered you, because now you know what you really want. You know what your true will is, and you now know how to apply it in a earthly way. And when I say earthly way, in a everyday kind of way, you know how to practically implement what you want, put into the works what you actually want. We've then got the Chariot card coming in as a new energy, which ties in quite well with the adjustment card that was crossing the Nine of Swords at the center of the reading, which does talk about emotional balance. It is represented by the sign Cancer. And Cancer does talk a lot about, is a sign represented by emotions. So, and with this Chariot card talking about balance, and the adjustment card also pointing towards finding balance, it would say that you need to balance your emotions along with your will, which was in your recent past with the Princess of Wands. You need to balance your emotions and your will to enable you to move forward in a successful direction. Crowning the reading, we have got the Knight of Discs, and at the base of the reading we've got the Nine of Discs, which shows me again you've got a plan. You do know how you're going to move forward, and you are putting energy into moving forward. And that, yes, it looks like you seem to have found your own value in yourself. The Nine of Discs, to me, strikes me as quite an independent, it's got quite an independent energy, but it's also that self-sufficient energy, and the feeling of knowing that you have what you need inside you. It's that self-love, self-appreciation kind of card to me. And also, which also tallies very well with that, is the Queen of Wands, which is where you find yourself. So you find yourself coming into your own self-empowerment. And I think the lessons that you are learning, possibly throughout the month of May, or may have just kind of been experiencing at the end of April, has given you insight into your own true value. And it's interesting that we've got the Princess of Wands as your recent past. We've then got the Prince of Wands at the base of the reading. And then we've got the Queen of Wands. There's like this progression of realizing your own will, of realizing your own worth. Just looking at the Prince of Wands here, trying to see what other messages we can get from it. He's definitely moving forward fast. He's following his heart. And he's following his heart quite bravely. So you are having to be quite brave. And sometimes that can be quite painful. Having to be brave on your own with the 9 of discs here. Also, in your environment or how people see you is the 4 of discs, which suggests to me that you have kind of put up your walls. You're more determined to follow your own kind of direction. You know what you want to do, and maybe it's a bit of selfishness, but in a good way. I think it's needed here. You need to kind of look, and with the 9 of discs as well, I think that definitely being selfish would be a very positive thing. It will lead to a gain in the end. So yeah, you have put your walls up, and you're not letting very many people in at the moment, because I think you're doing so much internal work at the moment. You're kind of shutting out the outside world, maybe not in any extreme way, but just enough for you to be able to find that adjustment within yourself and kind of and heal from what's happening. We've then got the 4 of Cups in your hopes and fears, which shows us that you're possibly quite done with love. Your love, maybe, I mean, you might still feel maybe you're fearing, that there's no love coming in, or what you see in love isn't enough. A bit, you can't really see any opportunities for love at the moment, and maybe that's a bit of a fear for you. You're fearing that things will always be this way, maybe. You're fearing that there's no more love coming in and that this is it. Or will this be it? Is there anything else coming in on the horizon? But, definitely you've got a lot of fire behind you, literally, with the Princess of Wands. You're just graduating now into the Prince of Wands and the Queen of Wands. You're learning how to transform all of these experiences to aid your greater good, and to find that self-esteem and self-empowerment in yourself. So this does talk a lot about self-worth, this reading. And also with Venus in Taurus at the moment, astrologically, that does talk a lot about values and what we find valuable, what we love, what we don't, what gives us stability, what makes us happy. So yeah, it does definitely seem to be showing in this reading that it's going to be a month looking at your own self-worth and your own and balancing your emotions, and you may be using that to drive you forward into new horizons in love. Then as the final outcome, we have got the 7 of Swords, which suggests to me again that you're not feeling very emotional this month. You're quite, you're using the power of your mind to cut through all the to cut through all that's happened, to find your way through, to find a path. It's not a very emotional card. It's quite a selfish card again. You're thinking about yourself. You're thinking about how you can get the upper hand in this situation, how you can find that balance again, how you can bring things back into balance. Because I think maybe there hasn't been that balance in the past in your relationship. For singles, it looks like there has been some sort of disappointment, or maybe you're beating yourself up a little bit too much about things, and you feel like you have to kind of defend yourself, defend your worth. But the cards here seem to be asking you to focus on the future, focus on your own personal value, and that you do have a lot of value. I mean, the Nine of Discs at the base of the reading and the Queen of Wands just suggest that you've got a lot to offer in love, and that really it starts with you loving yourself, and then moving forward from there, and balancing. There's a lot of cards here, a lot of fours, which talks to me about balance. And then we've got the Adjustment card in the middle of the reading, and the Chariot card as the incoming energy. So you are learning to harness the reins of your life and take it into your own hands, and steer the chariot in the direction that does make you happy. You seem to be taking more control of your love life, and not waiting on other people to follow your lead or see where you're coming from. In relationships, you know now where you're going. And where other people may not have wanted to follow before, you're now just striking your own path. So maybe someone wasn't interested, or wasn't, not necessarily not interested, but not willing to move forward in the relationship, and you had to constantly be, or maybe you were just dating them, sorry, talking to singles here, sorry. You're having to defend yourself, or maybe always trying and vying, trying to show this person that you really like them, and they're just not budging. They seem to be just more interested in where they're going, and they've got their own plans for whatever reason. But you yourself, you've got the Nine of Discs at the base of your reading. You know, you are empowered. You have everything that you need. Luxury is at your fingertips. It's there for the taking. It's there for you. It's surrounding you. And I think possibly even it's your self-love that has actually brought you to this realization that whoever this person was that you were trying to get their attention from, you don't need to keep doing that anymore. You know, you love yourself. You know your value. And now with the Knight of Discs crowning the reading, it will suggest that you are now quite strongly moving forward in that self-assurity, assuredity. Yeah. And there's now some fire, you know, behind your steps forward. And the Knight of Discs as well, the elements that are represented in this card will be fire and earth. So earth does talk to Taurus, and about self-value, self-worth. Taurus is a sign about values and comfort and luxury. And then with fire, to combine that with fire would say that, you know who you are, you know your value, and you're moving forward quite strongly in that knowing. And you're not taking any prisoners this month with the Seven of Swords crowning. Yeah, you're all about you this month, which is fantastic, and I'm really happy for you that you've come to that realization. And good luck. It looks like it's going to be a fairly good month, although there's some sadness. Often sadness comes about to take us into the valley, I guess, of self-awareness. And it looks like you have become more self-aware of your own worth. And you're moving forward very strongly with all these fire cards here. And they are looking quite positive. So yeah, keep up the good work, keep on loving yourself, and focus on you, on what you want this month. And just remember to bring balance into the equation at all times. So good luck for the month. Thank you for your likes, shares and subscriptions. I really appreciate it. And I'd just like to end on this note, that we should always remember to let love guide us and not fear.